Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's the Thursday, the 26th of June. I almost said Friday then, but yes, it is Thursday. Big day today. We have big news, so I'll be talking specifically on that. But I just want to say welcome back to the biggest free scam on YouTube. And the reason it's the biggest free scam on YouTube is because this is free education. Um, from obviously myself. So yeah, I must say myself, it is pretty much the best free scam on planet Earth. But as always, let me just quickly get this picture up if I can. But I just want to ask you guys, if you don't already, please make sure that you do put that subscribe button on, and you also do turn the notifications on so that when I do upload videos, you guys are notified in regards to it, and that you're not missing out on any videos at all. So let's get straight into this. And before we do move on to charts, I just want to let you guys know that this content on this channel is for educational and informational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing shared in these videos should be considered financial or investment or trading advice. Trading and investing involves risk, and you should always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. And also understand that any past performance discussed does not guarantee future results. So understand you are responsible for your own financial decisions, not anyone else. Okay, now let's get straight into the charts. Let me just move this over here if I can. 1 second. There we go. Perfect. So let's go straight over to the charts and see what is going on today. Hopefully you guys now should see my screen. Amazing. Perfect. So as always, we're going to start with the Forex Factory, which is the news, and have a look at what's going on today. As I just mentioned, we should have some volatility going into the US dollar, which is unemployment claims. So as you guys can see, unemployment claims at 2:30. So yeah, that is the red folder news. Again, we do have Great British Pound news as well at 1 p.m. But the main one that sticks out, of course, is this in unemployment claims. Unemployment claims, obviously, it's going to bring some volatility into the markets, but it's not going to be anything like NFP or anything like that. So it's not something that we have to worry about in regards to like mass moves usually. But yeah, still understand and keep an eye out on the fact that 2:30 is of course, the news. So that leads me straight on to the charts. And in fact, just quickly before we do start, I'll cover some of the trade ideas that I took myself and some of the areas that we talked about yesterday. So you guys, will remember if you go to my YouTube and you haven't already seen, this one is literally flew. It's currently done around a 1 to 9. It was EU, which was this 1 hour demand area. We mentioned that we had these, lows at the bottom here, and we had still some imbalance. And then we have this unmitigated 1 hour demand area here. But I've been calling out EU for quite some time because we have this one. And then if you guys remember, I also did mention about this 1 hour demand area as well. So let me just get this up. This 1 hour demand area as well, which, did a 1 to 5 there. We broke the highs here, which was over a 1 to 3, as you guys can see. So yeah, pretty sweet to obviously look back at. It is flying. Hopefully some of you guys managed to get in that and catch it on from the YouTube analysis. We also had GU, which absolutely flew. Let me just go over this quickly. Same scenario. Yesterday we talked about this demand area because this was our low, this was our high. Obviously we had these equal lows at the time, and then we had some imbalance just above this demand area. And as you guys can see, we obviously come down. We tapped into that demand, we mitigated straight through it, taking the low. So it's very important to understand where you should be putting your stop loss, not having it too tight, because you would have missed out on that. And then as you can see from this was a 1 to 3, and we've currently up around, it's currently up around a 1 to 8, or just over 1 to 8. So boom, Liam is back and Liam is calling the shots. And then the next one was USD CHF, which again was an absolute beauty. It was a 1 to 3 from this 1 hour supply, which we talked about. And same again, as you can see, we are currently up around a 124.3, which is incredible. And this is why I love trading, guys, because if you think about trading, understand that there's nowhere on planet Earth, once you understand this skill set, where you can make percentages like you do in trading. Look at traditional businesses. It's not the same. You can go and open up, a successful traditional business, and a lot of them, and 9 times out of 10, they ain't going to pull back the percentage every single day, week, month that you do get the accessibility from with investing, with trading. So again, if you feel like a certain way, I should do this, should I not, guys, just plug in, man. We all went to school for a certain long period of time. We all went to, well, I didn't, but some of you guys might have gone to university for a period of time, and you didn't quit, you didn't give up and say, oh, I can't be bothered now with this. Have the same mentality. This is something you're never ever going to get taken away from you. So have that mentality. But yeah, let's lead on to the dollar. So as always, the daily, we finally obviously now broken this low. We did talk about all of these equal lows on the weekly below here, if you remember. Just quickly go to the weekly. We had a lot of money that was sat below. We've finally taken that, and we do have a lot of imbalance around this area that we can fill in. So it seems like the market is wanting to do that. We focus, like I said last time, on the weekly time frame. You can see the correction, and then we have the impulse, the correction. Now we're having that impulse again. So going into the daily, we've finally broken that daily low. Let's see how this candle finishes today. It's melting. Let's see how we finish today. But what we can expect is once the obviously daily creates a new low, eventually we do have a correction phase to go and create that new leg. Always the correction phase is here, here, and then we go and have that impulse. So if you look at this scenario, correction phase, impulse down, correction phase, impulse down. So let's see what happens going into the rest of this week and next week. As of right now, if I was to look at this from the naked eye, of course, we have a lot of imbalance above there. We have an imbalance below here as well. So naturally, the area that I would want to see from a daily would be from the start of this imbalance to this here. This will be my daily supply candle. Now, of course, we don't have to worry about that daily supply candle because I can imagine right now as we're pushing down, the 4 hour and the 1 hour is extremely bearish. So keep that in mind. That is the daily supply, but let's focus on what's going on the lower time frames. So as you can see, this supply area on the 1 hour held yesterday, and this is where we're getting this movement from now. So from a 4 hour perspective, pretty clear to understand this is my 4 hour lower high, and we are melting with this, which is a 4 hour lower low. But again, we are just dropping off at this moment in time. So we have to wait for some sort of, correction in this. Naturally, where do I see the market coming back into? Either this 2 candles here as my 4 hour supply, or if you want to refine it, would be to this last candle here. But let's go with these 2 candles for now. This would be my supply that I am looking out for. That's my 4 hour lower high, 4 hour lower low. This is my 4 hour break of structure. Now, if we go down to the 1 hour, what can we see? So you can see that the 1 hour is just trending. Remember, there's always a trend with inside of the trend. If you guys know me, this is what I always say. It sounds so cliche, but it's true. And if we follow the trend that's going on the 1 hour, what can we see? Well, pretty easy to understand. You can see that we are creating them lower highs, lower low. You can see we had a lower high here, pull back, lower low, lower high, sorry, lower low, lower high. Oh shit. And then we've had now this break, we had this break here. So pretty clear to understand where our trend is right now. From a 1 hour, we have this 1 hour lower high and this 1 hour lower low. So where do I expect the market to come into? Well, same scenario. It doesn't matter what time frame that we're on. Can we see imbalance? Yes, we can see a lot of imbalance. Where's the start? Here. But where I'm going to refine it to is this last candle here. So this last buy up before this movement down to the top is going to be my 1 hour supply zone. So that is where I'm expecting the market to, come up eventually. And if we do carry on, it's going to obviously go into this and then hopefully carry that down. If we don't, then of course, what we'll see is the market, obviously trading up. And then our next zone would be this this 4 hour supply. Because remember, as I always say, pardon me, if you're 4 hours like this, inside of that range, we're always going to have 1 hour trend. So the 1 hour trend's always going to be inside of that 4 hour. So as I always say, if we have a 4 hour supply area here, 4 hour supply area here, we need to obviously first see that 1 hour give us a change of trend so that we know that we could potentially come into this 4 hour supply. Downtrend to uptrend to downtrend. Pretty simple. But we need to see a change of trend on the 1 hour, which is here, to be confident enough that we're going to be seeing that 4 hour supply area met. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Let me just get rid of this noise. But yeah, man, if you guys are enjoying, the YouTube and enjoying me being back on YouTube and giving you this value for free, like I said, just do the basics and just drop some love, inside of the comments or on a like. It takes literally half a second to just drop a like. And also let's stay connected on social media. But yeah, that is the area I'm looking out for. These two currently right now as we speak for the dollar, which leads me onto Euro USD. So what can we expect from Euro USD? Well, if you look at Euro USD from a daily, you can see that we've called it, like we've genuinely called it just perfect. Like if you guys remember, obviously, you can see that we've talked for a long time that I want to see this area, come into here, this daily demand, because this was our daily higher low and our daily higher high. We had an imbalance above. And as you guys can see, we've tapped into that daily, and that's given us opportunities to go and trade this up. Now, if we just focus on these arrows, you can see that this is now my new higher low, and this is my new higher high. So we've got a new range, which is from this daily to a daily higher low to this daily higher high. I'm not going to put the higher high on just now because it could just break through and I can't bother messing around. So same scenario, like if we look at this from a naked eye, we eventually want to see the daily, coming filling this imbalance that we do have below here, just as we've done here, just as we always do. So that is the first thought that we want, but of course we've got to play what we see right now. So if I go to the 4 hour, what can we see? Well, in the 4 hour, you can see that there's still a clear 4 hour trend. Still a clear 4 hour trend, and you can see that that's where we had the 4 hour downtrend, now the 4 hour uptrend. You can see that this is this was our previous higher high, this is our new higher low because we've broken that previous higher high to create a new one, which is here. So our range is from this low to this high right now. Now, of course, from a 4 hour, where would I want to see the market come into first and foremost? It would naturally be, again, let's do the two candles, would be these 4 hour demand areas here. Of course, you can refine that to this one area because we have the imbalance that we need to be filled above, all above here. But let's just go off these two for now, to help it easier for you guys. And as you can see, eventually we are obviously in a 1 hour uptrend right now, so we don't need to worry about this area until we get that change of trend. So if I drop to the 1, what can I see? Well, if I drop to the 1, you can clearly see that we have, well, first of all, we have 18 minutes left on this candle, so it'll be interesting to see if the body can close and stay above this. And if it does, it's going to be pretty easy to probably spot for you guys. You can see that this would be our valid higher low on the 1 hour. And then obviously this would be our valid higher high on the 1 hour also. And if that's the case, if we're just going to carry on bullish, what can we expect the market to do? Well, we have an imbalance below this. So let's just draw out this candle here. Or if you want to refine it, probably to this area. But let's just keep it on here for now. This would be my 1 hour demand area, which is where I would like to see the market do this again. And if we don't get that, of course, what can we expect? Well, let's say we get a break, then of course we can expect a pullback to then, come into this 4 hour demand area. So pretty simple, hopefully it makes sense to you guys. But just to break it down to you, you can see where the market has, basically almost been reacting to. We didn't quite get this level of 1 hour demand here. But what we did is we filled in that imbalance and basically almost mitigated it. So a lot of volume inside of these markets as of right now. So yeah, man, let's keep an eye out on that for your USD. GBP USD. Let's see what she is doing as well. As you can see, we talked about yesterday, obviously filled in the weekly imbalance, which is here. And now we're getting that movement away. We've got a new daily range, which is from, obviously right now it's this higher high to this higher low. Pretty easy to see for you guys, I'm sure. So of course, daily, same scenario as EU, eventually we do expect this to be rebalanced. When can we expect that? We don't know. It could be now with news, it could be next week, it could be Friday, it could be 2 weeks, we don't know. All we got to do is focus on the trend that's going on currently. Now, as you guys can see, if we focus on the 4 hour, what can we see? We can see that this is where we had that mass movement. We barely got a pullback. We didn't get a deeper one, but we got this little pullback, and now we're into this area here. So this is my valid 4 hour higher low, my valid 4 hour higher high. Again, where do I expect the market to come back into? Well, pretty simple. We got this last down candle here, which is a 4 hour demand, with all this imbalance left here. So if it was from a 4 hour, we would expect the market to do this. But of course, what's going on in the 1 hour? Well, in the 1 hour, you guys can probably already see, if you've looked at the charts today, we're extremely bullish for one, but you can see the trend that is going on. You can see the fact that we have, this mini trend that's happening, mini trend, bloody hell. I wish it was a mini trend. So we expect to pull back to then go and carry on. So that's all I'm predicting is this is my higher low on the 1 hour. And as you guys can see, this is my higher high. We're probably going to break through that anyway. This is the higher high. Where do I see the market come back into first? It would be, where's the start of this imbalance is? This is the last down, start of the imbalance is here. It would be from this 1 hour demand candle. So yeah, you can see that this area pretty much got mitigated by this downwards into that imbalance. This area pretty much mitigated almost into that. So you can see the steps, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, go and create a higher low, then a higher high. So same as EU, we expect the market to, pull back and make its move away from here and do this. If we don't get that and we, let's say we break, then of course we can expect to see more shorts into this 4 hour demand area and candle. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That is for GU. AU, NU, I'm not going to go over. We'll quickly go over USD CAD, seeing as we've had this 4 hour break here. And let's talk quickly about this. What can we see? Well, what we can see from USD CAD is this daily supply candle holding. This daily supply candle holding, and now we're getting that bearishness coming into today. We've been 1, 2, 3, pretty much the last 3 days this week have just been consolidating in this area. So I'm expecting some sort of, if we can, break now and just carry this trend on downwards. If we can see that, or vice versa upwards. So from a daily, we're reacting out this supply. We are getting that bearishness on this candle as we speak. So if we look at the 4, what is it telling us? What it's telling us is, if you look at the trend that was going on here, higher high, higher low, higher high, we come down, we actually then failed to go and create a new higher high, and now it seems like we're going to be creating a new lower low, which is what? Change of trend. What does this look like? A head and shoulders pattern. So if we're looking at this currently, what I'm going to be waiting for is, let's get rid of this, is we've got 30 minutes left for this candle close on the 4. And that would be, obviously a main telling point. But I do believe that we are seeing that bearishness on USD CAD, true, personally. And then if that's the case, eventually we do want to see this broken from a 4 hour perspective. But with this bearishness, it's probably going to be the same with the 1 hour. I want to see this candle probably most likely being met next. We'll talk about on the 1. But let's see if this candle finishes like this. I'll probably just expect the market to pull back, fill in this imbalance, mitigate this supply, and carry on downwards from there. But let me just have a quick look at the 1 hour, and we can probably see it a little bit more clearer. Yeah, pretty clear to understand. 1 hour downtrend, 1 hour uptrend, 1 hour downtrend. Simple. Let's focus on where the market's currently already been. Well, look, we mitigated this area here, which was a 1 hour supply. Two 1 hour supplies I expect is either this candle here, or I expect this here inside of that supply. So inside that 4 hour, I probably expect what I would prefer would be obviously fill in the rest of this imbalance, take out this high, and then leave away from here. But yeah, this is the areas I'm looking for with USD CAD. So make sure that you guys keep an eye out on that. 1 hour range is from this this lower high here. And obviously, as we speak, this is our 1 hour lower low. Simple, easy. As of right now, bang. See how it reacts from here or here, and then we run it down. Whoa, what's going on? Yeah, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. USD CHF, look at that, beauty, beauty. What's going on quickly with GJ? Currently in GJ at the moment, which is it's doing all right. But yeah, let's have a look at USD CHF and see what we can do from here. Let me get rid of this. It's annoying me. Daily time frame. We are melting. We are absolutely melting. You can see this was our lower low, lower high, lower low. We've got imbalance up here, so that's why this is still my daily supply candle here. This area where the imbalance starts. Again, we don't need to worry about that right now. What is the 4 hour telling us? When we look at the 4 hour, you're probably getting gist of how I approach these markets now. This is our correction phase. This is our correction phase to where we expect the market to come into. So naturally, this is a 4 hour demand area here. This is a 4 hour demand area here. Sorry, supply area here. So that's first thought is correction and an impulse. Can we see now correction, messy charts, and an impulse? Hopefully. If I look at it from a 1 hour, by the way, you guys can see that 4 hour lower high, 4 hour lower low. If I look at it from a 1 hour, what can I see? It looks pretty clear. I noticed it on the 4 hour then. This would be probably most likely my next 1 hour supply candle here. This area would be my next 1 hour supply, which means that I would, like to see all this is pretty much balanced. It is all pretty much balanced. So what I would like to see is from here doing this. That's all I'm interested in with USD CHF, literally. So keep an eye out on that. USD CHF, sorry, USD Japanese yen, finally getting some sort of movement away. This pair's been annoying me, I'm not gonna lie, like genuinely, I wanted to put it in a headlock. Only because of the choppiness, and I like to see big clear moves, big clear candles that we can obviously utilize, but it's going to do what it's going to do, man. But we focus just quickly again. We still have this trend here. It's probably most likely clear on the weekly, but we still have this trend that's going on that could do this. But we reacted up this daily supply. This candle's told us that volumes. Let me just move. This candle here has told us that the volume's lessening in that. So we could see that potential downwards. And obviously, does it align with the US dollar? Yeah, it does. Does it align with USD Japanese yen? It does. And as you can see, we had this juicy candle here. We come back up, taps into that daily supply almost, fill it in this imbalance. Now we're doing the exact same. Where do I expect the market to come into now? Well, it's this big ugly candle here, which is more of a daily supply candle. It'll probably look a lot more cleaner on the 4. So if I get up on the 4, where would I expect the market on the 4 hours would be this candle here for us to keep an eye on. That's where I would like to see the market come back into. We've got 7 minutes left on this candle. We've pretty much clearly closed below this. and then that's what I'm expecting to see in regards to into that. So yeah, let's keep an eye out with that and see what's going on. But yeah, pretty clear up to understand again. 2:30 my time on Thursday today, unemployment claims. So just make sure that you guys are aware of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for today. Hopefully this wasn't too long, but as always, you guys know how much I appreciate you just plugging in. Just quickly, actually, I'm going to show you this if I can. Where's it gone? Hopefully you guys can see my channel. I just want to let you guys know that obviously if you go to my bio in here, I have my free Telegram group, my own Instagram, and I have a form where you can basically reach out to me if you want to work on a one-to-one basis with me. So yeah, man, you guys, if you're interested, even just staying connected, get inside of these two groups, and you know, we can obviously see what I get to on a day-to-day life. If you're on my Instagram, I have a close friends, and I do, in fact, you know, I do post a lot more stuff on there in regards to like withdrawals and stuff like that. So if you want to keep an eye out on that, that can be something that you're maybe interested in. But other than that, guys, have an amazing rest of your week, and Thursday we will catch up tomorrow. Take care. God bless.